Alright, what's up y'all, LakerFan here. As you can about title of today's video, we have the point guard build that can guard 1 through 5 in NBA 2K26. Now, it's listed at power forward, but you can make it at whatever you want. Shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. It really can play like anything because of the height, weight, wingspan that's listed. So again, feel free to make it at shooting guard, small forward, or anything like that if you want to. But the point of this video is to show a build that truly can guard every position in the game, has solid rebounding, and still actually has the ability to handle the ball, shoot threes, play defense, and has amazing physicals. Now, it's with some cap breakers in mind, and you're going to look at this and see how in the heck is this a point guard build, LakerFan? Also, for the record, I'm a fan of the build being built like this without the offensive rebound and having the 76 pass accuracy instead for the versatile visionary. And if you go with the 66 ball handle, it eventually end up at 86 instead of 85. Now, you hear that and you wonder what the heck I'm talking about. Let me pull this up for you real quick so you can see it for yourself. So I wanted to at least start the video off with showing you the cap breakers and that this actually is a thing, just so you're not sitting here looking at a quote-unquote point guard build with 65 ball handle and 70 speed with ball, you know, and it'd just be a terrible video concept and I'd lose so many people throughout this thing. Now, I will acknowledge, obviously this is with cap breakers in mind. Now, with that said, however, if you just put one cap breaker on speed with ball and then one on ball handle, you're sitting at 71 ball handle and then also 75 speed with ball. Now, is that point guard capable? No, probably not, to be real with you. But Levine dribble style and silver lightning launch is definitely still something to write home about. And then, again, you will have pro sigs. That's all you would have with just the two cap breakers. But eventually, when you get the crew cap breakers, assuming you have a crew, and if you don't, I'll link the Discord one more time for the community that I have, and you can find a crew through there as well. It's in my Discord, and I'm just giving people the opportunity to, you know, kind of create a community amongst themselves and just find crews and stuff like that in that Discord with each other of at least a common interest of my channel itself. But anyway, the point being is, when you get 4 more cap breakers off the crew XP, or even 3 in a more attainable sense, because where we're at right now in our crew, as you can see, we're already sitting at the crew award level 23, so 22 is where you get this cap breaker right here, and you're gonna have to wait a week from the time you even joined the crew in the first place. So understand this build's a little bit more of a long-term play, and just that's what we're kind of prefacing that. But this is very easy to get level 15 with the 2 cap breakers, and then on top of that too, you get a 3rd cap breaker for, like, let's say getting the lifetime objectives done. I made a video on how to get that done as well. You get one for hitting the level 40 in the pass, and then another one as well for hitting rookie 5. So long story short, there's a lot of cap breakers, and as you can see, the investment we're gonna have to put into this is 6. Now I want to show you a different build, and the one that my man Bonnie is gonna make as well, that actually requires only 5. Alright, so the one that I showed you guys originally that had the 71 pass accuracy, well guess what? This actually has a little bit more of a manipulation on the cap breakers where, as you can see, you only need to spend 4 in the ball handle, and on top of that you can start at 65 ball handle instead of 66, and you actually get all the way up to even still 86 ball handle, and you even still get, for whatever reason, 1 more speed with ball off a cap breaker, which puts it from 70 to 76. Now I want to reference this video right here, as you guys will see, the secret about cap breakers that will change 2K26 builder forever. Now, as you can see, I was testing this exact build in so many different save files to find the best way to possibly create this build, and it was at small forward while I was doing so as well. So what I've come to the conclusion of is that this build right here, or the one that I just showed you know, previously, compared to this one that would cost 5 cap breakers to put the ball handle on, are probably the best ways to create this. Now let's start detailing the actual build itself in just a second here, so that we can actually, like, you know, talk about what's important with the fact that it's a freaking demigod in the first place. Can we talk about, like, all the ratings that are on this? It's insane. But anyway, we'll do it in a more clean way in the builder. I just wanted to address the fact that, as you can see, if you get 5 cap breakers, this unlocks the build entirely. You have silver lightning launch with the Levine dribble style, 76 speed with ball, and then get the ball handle all the way up to 86 as well. It's just off 5 cap breakers, you then have what I would deem one of the best builds in the game, period. So now that we got that out the way, I know it's a little bit of a lengthy explanation, but that's just the type of stuff you're going to see in build videos this year when it comes to explaining how the cap breakers work. It's such a unique and complex system that is really just full of a lot of detail. So understand that's kind of the new norm. Now, with this build, obviously it's a little bit more of an outside point guard. It's only got 50 driving dunk, 40 standing dunk, And then, as we already mentioned, the weaknesses of the ball handle speed with ball, at least early, until you get the cap breakers. So treat this as a like lockdown kind of two-way point guard early that has very minimal ability to like handle the ball, but it could still be a decent secondary ball handler on threes, and again paired with like another good play initiator or something like that early. But eventually it will unlock the ability to kind of become the primary guy while also still guarding the primary guy, and on top of that having the versatility to switch onto a big man. This is insane, is it not? You're 6'8" with 87 speed, 84 agility, 91 strength, and 92 per rim, 85 steal, 82 block, 82 interiority. This is literally stats of a versatile switch lockdown. Mind you, again, 80 defensive rebound too for like silver rebound chaser as well. This is, like I said, stats of a versatile switchable lockdown that still has 89 three-pointer and gold, set shot, silver limitless. I mean, it gets sharp takeovers and all that stuff too. You'll specialize in shooting on top of that too, so you will eventually get one more three-pointer that gets you to 90 for the deep bomber if you'd like as well, while even still upping that mid-range again. And I mean, that's not even talking about the +1, +2s of the specialization, the +1, +2s you can get naturally with this, the crew +1, +2s and stuff as well. You do really want a crew to maximize this build because you will need those cap breakers. So absolutely look into that Discord that I'm linking in the comments on this one for the pinned comment. You really want to find some people that you can connect with in that Discord, join their crew, let the XP start flowing in, and boom, start racking up those cap breakers. It's going to be really important for a build like this. So I want to at least do what I can to put on for you guys to actually allow you to do so, Now I do want to drive home the point of that this build is meant to be a bit of a pick and roll ball handler, alright? So just understand that like this is meant for me and my boys and what I'm trying to put them onto, because I really do think this build in tandem with mine would be nasty. So good synergy. So for me, I'm playing point center on the 6'10" small forward that is a pure inside, right? Now, I've been ISOing really well. I'm a huge fan of playing with that build in tandem with two big lockdowns that can switch everything essentially, and they just been traffic cones on offense sitting in the corner, right? All they got is 83 three-pointer and not really much ability to put the ball on the floor, and their pass accuracy is garbage. However, they play elite defense. Now this build I think could still play elite defense. This is still very good. Now mind you, it doesn't have the paint patroller on silver. I'll actually show you a variant of the build that we can change this to that's kind of unique and interesting, but it has that low investment in the pass accuracy. If you're a believer in that in this game, it's for you. But if you're not, stick to this one a little bit more in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the ability to still run the pick and roll though with that, again, 89 three-pointer, I think this is plenty doable. And then still having the good ball handle speed with ball, good lob throwing still potential as well. But the most important thing here is that it really can guard 1 through 5. I'm being dead serious about that. Like, yeah, sure, Paint Patroller is only bronze, but mind you, it's in a +2, like it's in a tier 2 right there with like High Flying Denier, Box Out Beast, Lightning Launch are probably the badges that you'd also be interested in upping. Me personally, I think the way to go about this would be for you to get the speed with ball up to 75, that gets you the silver lightning launch, then +1 it to gold. 2K Labs has done a test of how gold is the biggest value as far as like the badge level, and that Hall of Fame isn't a big difference. So boom, get that to gold, and then put the +2 on Paint Patroller and get that from bronze to gold while still having 82 block, 82 interior, and silver post move lockdown, all that. You got the perimeter defense to be able to thug it out on the perimeter with the on ball menace and the gold challenger, gold interceptor as well with the 85 steal rating, silver rebound chaser, offensive rebound capabilities, speed, agility, strength, all that. Enough vertical to get the bronze pogo and bronze high flying denier as well. I mean, bro, crazy enough, you can even get rim protector takeovers on this, and it's a point guard. Is that not so much to the point of what I'm talking about, that it's a build that can guard 1 through 5? So if you're questioning anything as far as whether it's a point guard or not, just understand that a lot of point forward builds in this game have exactly that. That's the maximums of a build like this, is 75 speed with ball and 86 ball handle. That's a lot of 6'8" builds. If we go all the way on down on the weight, here we can even go to like a shooting guard, 6'8", min weight, and then even like a min wingspan. The max capabilities you have as a build like this is 80 speed with ball and 86 ball handle. It's not that much of a drop down from the type of stuff that you see people consistently using in the community right now as ISO builds, point guard builds. I've played with Kitchen on a 6'8" like this as well. It's very capable of moving, and it is moving fast for that matter. Now, speaking of Kitchen, this is the build that Kitchen is considering making, and I believe actually is going to make. Now, I'm not a fan of it quite as much, and I'm willing to just hear my man's out a little bit on what he wanted to do with the build. And it was set up with a lot of cap breakers in mind, as well as, you know, the buy-in of the whole pass accuracy not being a super useful thing. However, the way that this build is optimized is very interesting, and I want to at least shout it out a tad bit. So, compared to the other build, obviously it still had, you know, the gold set shot specialist with the 89 three-pointer, but instead we're going into the mid-range investment on the build like this. So at 91, you get the shifty shooter, at 92 you get the dead eye, and then at 93 you get Hall of Fame set shot specialist as well, while still keeping 83 three-pointer for the bronze limitless. So essentially what Kitchen's trying to get at with this build is that he wants it to be 2v2 very capable of like fading off a screen or something like that and still having the elite shooting badges, and then also still buying into that cap break investment of the +1 for the speed with ball going up to 76, and then the +4 ball handle to get it all the way up to 86 as well, same as the last build we just showcased. And again, still has the exact same defenses. However, in this case, what he did and why we didn't go with the 89 three-pointer is because, as you can see, this build right here gets the paint patroller on silver naturally, so that means you can even +2 it all the way up to Hall of Fame. Now that is a big deal in terms of like synergy with the build. Now if you wanted to buy into this yet make some tweaks yourself, make some adjustments, I'm totally with it, because to be real with you, if it were my choice, I just don't think offensive rebound is worth. But as you can see, it's a tough case, right? I mean, pass accuracy is hard to upgrade, and it's really a tough sell because it's one of the most useless attributes in the game this year. It's really unfortunate. I mean, it doesn't change the pass speed very much at all. It just is literally the accuracy. So I'm not a big believer in this quite as much, just because it's so hard for me as a pick and roller to buy into the investment of thinking that my pick and roll ball handler can get away with having 40s pass accuracy. But man, I'm not gonna lie, fellas, I've seen it in action, and it actually is a lot better than you think. I don't know, it's really weird, but I'm just gonna let you guys see Kitchen's build real quick, and you can see what you think of it for yourself. And if it's something that interests you, you could at least check it out and test the cap breakers yourself within the builder. But long story short, the way that this build works is eventually with the cap breakers, you're gonna spend the 5 into the playmaking once again, right, and get the 76 speed with ball and the 86 ball handle, and that's 5 cap breaks right there. Anything remaining allows you to put 5 cap breaks on dunk, and it puts the 75, or put 5 more cap breakers onto your three-pointer, and then you just would eventually have the maximum three-pointer your build can have while still maintaining, you know, the great mid-range and the shooting badges that it had and all that. So anyway, I'm gonna just let you guys see it. You can make it at power forward or center, once again, whatever you would like to do, or small forward for that matter as well. I just have my boys making it, like I said, because it kind of works out in the cheesy way for me, where if I'm playing twos and I have Kitchen load up on this build, he plays at the big man spot and I play at the guard spot. Same goes for threes, stuff like that. So me as a pure slasher being at the 1 is a little bit of an exploit, and keeping your stretch big at the 2/3 in park is a bit of an exploit. So it just creates a mismatch already that like you would kind of have to set a screen to even create more often than not, if not for the cheesing of the mismatches. So anyway, again, here's what you're looking at for the cap breaks on a build like this. It's meant to have, once again, the pro to this build is A, it has that silver paint patroller naturally, and then B, has that 93 mid-range for all the great shooting badges and stuff like that. Now, where you go with the rest of the cap breakers from there is, again, 5 into playmaking. It's going to be 4 ball handle, 1 speed with ball, and then anything past that, if you do the math on this yourself, that's 75 driving dunk. That's enough for Devin Booker dunk packages. It's a very capable thing. And then besides that, if you would like to as well, you could put it into the three-pointer. And like that, this is some long-term cap breaker potential, essentially, is what I'm getting at. And if you're a little bit skeptical on making this, when we get the crew like, you know, bonuses and stuff like that in T-, I believe for the rest of the members, it's going to be in about a day's time from when I'm at right here. So essentially by the time you're watching this video, it'll probably be 2 days from the amount of time I can then play with Kitchen on this build and have him with his cap breakers and +1s, +2s, all that stuff. So understand that you might not see the build in footage for a little bit still, but there will be footage of this if you're a little bit skeptical of that 40 pass accuracy and want us to at least test it first. So I would recommend to go with the other one, in my personal opinion. I don't think the paint patroller is just that worth, to be real with you. I think the 82 block is perfectly fine, and I think it's okay to not have this 93 mid-range in the first place anyway, because I think that 89 three-pointer is still a better kind of outlook, if you ask me anyway. So to then still get 71 pass accuracy with it, I think is a win-win-win. But hey, like I said, I'm down to hear Kitchen out on this long-term play right here. And hey, he's the one that's been tested. He's the one that's been playing with a low pass accuracy. I haven't. I've been playing with 71, but I've been playing with people that have had the 25 pass accuracy. And it's been surprisingly way better than I really even think it should be, in my opinion. So before we end the video, I want to just remind you guys, this is the build that I believe I would be a little bit more bought into. And ironically, the mindset that I had going into this build specifically, and I want to give you guys the backstory, the lore a little bit, if you will. I'm labbing for my shooting guard build for the Team Pro-Am. My boy Blitz, I'm going to have him set up on our shooting guard for Team Pro-Am. And I was labbing a build for him that was going to be overly defensive. We have a guy like me at the big man that can like kind of point center style things a little bit. We have Tonic as our other big, who is quite the play creator himself as well in terms of being a shot creator, post scorer, stuff like that. And then we still have a point guard that we're going to operate the pick and roll through with Dirty Joe as well. So point being is, I wanted our shooting guard to be someone that can play on-ball defense and be our actual lockdown while also still being able to operate in the pick and roll. Now, the image that I had with the build in mind was going to be like 71 ball handle and 75 speed with ball, and just get away with like the absolute minimum you could do as far as maybe being able to create in a pick and roll offense and still have decent dribble moves and decent speed with ball and dribble style to do so, but be an oversized, you know, lockdown shooting guard pretty much. But turned out there's a way to just make it even better and not have to be such a fluky point guard where you have just 71 ball handle and 75 speed with ball. You can make it a legitimate shooting guard build offensively while still having switchable lockdown defense. I just cannot stress enough how much I think this is the best build I've seen in 2K26. It's ridiculous, for real. So if you would like to, you know, put different cap breaks into things like dunk and stuff like that as well, also still free to. I just wanted to give you guys a blueprint and give you the image of the build that you might be seeing on the channel quite a bit more moving forward, because I really do think that it's something we're going to see quite a bit over here. So anyway, stay tuned for those. I will have videos very soon, but like I said, I have to probably get the, you know, teams cap breakers and stuff like that off the crew, and totally understandable if you guys don't think this is a build for you just yet, just because maybe you don't have these cap breakers yourself yet. So I totally understand. Again, you're going to need about 5 to get the job done, which in my case would pretty much be if I were to have all the things that I have done and my crew was level 15. So chances are you might be approaching that, or at least pretty close to it. And what you might be able to do is just get away with, like, let's say, you know, progressive boosts to your ball handle as you keep on earning them. But I do think this, at least putting 2 cap breakers in, is probably the floor for the build. I would recommend you want at least 1 into that ball handle for the 71, and then 1 into the speed with ball for the 75 plus to get the dribble style. By that point, I think you're operatable, and again, you'd want to be probably the secondary ball handler on 3s, in my opinion. Or get away with being a minimal ball handle kind of guy at shooting guard and Pro-Am, and not be the main ball handler, but still be able to get the job done. Hey, and to be honest, this build could be very good on 1v1 court too, to be real with you. I mean, the build is pretty nasty in terms of its defensive versatility, like I said, and if you really even wanted to line up at the big man spot, you technically could probably do that too. I'm not gonna lie, those 7-4s might be a little dangerous, so if you wanted to make it a 1v1 build, maybe make it a small forward or a shooting guard instead. I don't know. That's just my take on it. But anyway, that's all video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new to our noties, all that good stuff. And like always, try this 1 to 1,000 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, put point guard or put lock in the comment search ports mail way through, whichever you think this build more resembles. Because honestly, I think it resembles both. Like I said, this is a tough look right here. It's pretty interesting for sure. But anyway, I'll stop yapping about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And other than that, take these, man. Peace.